Well, we had a fairly good team at Bateau with uh, Dick Thomas. Oh, okay. And at the end, there was a training camp at Bateau. Dick Thomas, Petty, Dean Sheets. We had McIntyre. Really, really good senior people. So, thanks for just letting me say that. I mean, I really appreciate it. And Obi, when I got back to the States, I was with the Sixth and hung out at the Green Beret Parachute Club and was trained free fall by Gene Thacker. And probably made about 30 free falls and did it for a couple of years. Then I just found other interests. You know, you spend too much time out the airport waiting for good weather.
Yeah, it was just fun diving. I mean,
yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Lee quotes J.V. Carroll as saying that the war was really about rice, the North suffering a shortage and the South having an abundance.
What's that?
You quote J.V. Carroll saying that the war was about rice.
that's correct.
Yeah.
North suffering a shortage. South
One canteen cup a day. That's what we fed. That the yards got paid. That was it.
Well, in terms of the North versus the South,
That's what it was
that's a
about.
very important observation.
Yeah, that's what
Very
it was
few
about.
people have
Politically.
made. There's some
Politically.
people who are writing some papers now about that subject, just coming to realize that was in fact the case. You know, they were still importing rice after the division up through 1955 from south to north. They cut that off, and that was the end of their
Right.
JV was actually a very astute man in his own way. He was a character, and he had a problem with the bottle, which is not unusual in special forces camps. That happens at camps, but he was astute and everything. I had a lot of respect for him. A lot more respect for him and the early two sergeants than I had them later on. So, but then sometimes when you spend the full year or all your tour at one camp, and people come in, new people come in, and everything else, they change things around. You know what's going on, and they don't. Especially if you're just an E5, they don't want to hear it from you. So,
well, another thing that Lee said in his book here, I really liked. He said, near dusk, mosquitoes swarmed in to feed on our stateside blood. They are ubiquitous, tenacious. Though we swatted and killed quite a few, nothing discouraged them. And the introduction of sorts to the futility of body count as a winning strategy in Vietnam.
yeah, that's right.
I like that. That was a good quote out of your book.
I had a question for James Ferguson, if I may. James, after I left the camp, did it get any better, or did you have problems with what happened there?
Yeah, we had problems with him. Finally, he left. And another guy came in who was just as bad. Then we finally got Captain Callahan in, who was a great captain. But the first night he came to camp, he had I think it was a Walt or a PPK or something. And he wanted to show us what a good weapon it was. And he took it out and he put his hand up against it and said, you see, when you push it like this, you can't pull the trigger. And then he moved his hand.
we had that same experience with Grady's Pride. Did any of y'all know Grady Vines? Did anybody know Grady?
I do. Oh, I know that name.
Yeah, he shot himself in the hand too, right in the fat part of the hand with a Walther PPK also.
Oh, you want to talk about somebody shooting himself? We had Bill Obermeyer's Bill Obermeyer's senior demo guy named Seinfeld, and he's dead now.
Seinfeld.
But
Seinfeld is dead? Really? Oh my God! Wow.
If a caribou came in, somebody had to go down and meet it. So there
Yeah.
was a 45 on a web belt hanging in the team house, and you grabbed that and you went.
Yeah.
Whoever was closest.
Yeah.
Well, Steinfeld was closest. He grabbed it and started out, and he starts yelling, "Oh my dick! Oh my dick!"
Oh,
He's shouting himself for the 45.
Oh,
When he pulled it, I don't know. Nobody knows what he did. He couldn't remember. When he pulled it off the wall, it went off.
oh my God.
And,
We just all used our own weapons. Were y'all still bringing in the cattle and pigs and all that junk every week? Either Lolex or on the back of the caribou?
We brought in some occasionally, didn't we, Bill?
We brought them every week.
No, we didn't have every week.
I mean, I did a lot of scrounge missions and using the caribous to go in, and I was always amazed by the Vietnamese. They just let on the plane. You don't know if they're VC or what the fuck they were. They just got on.
Right.
I was like always blown away. And one time we had a guy get on, it wouldn't put the seatbelt on. And so the crew chief comes out and says, "Hey, Obi, just because I did a lot of trips." He says, "Watch this, we're going to negative G's." And so the plane went up and went down and no gravity. And this guy in the back, he was up there flying around. When the plane pulled out, he hit the ground so hard in the plane, he was locked onto the webbing, and we couldn't get him out of the plane. Up to this day, I wanted to always be a fly on the wall to his hooch to just what the hell happened to him in the plane that he was in no gravity. The stuff we did for them was crazy.
Those caribou pilots are something else.
Sergeant Leonard, a black team sergeant that was
Team
there.
sergeant.
Team Sergeant Leonard.
Wayne Leonard, yeah.
Wayne Leonard. I've always that individual to this day made me who I am. He was really a great guy. He taught me. I remember one time being pinned down in the river, and he yelled at me, "Get up, get up!" And I was like going, "Shit, I don't know if I should stay here or what." But calling in artillery, showing me how to do it and everything, fire for effect, let a couple in. He was like a super good.
He was a great team sergeant.
Yes.
Hey, were the assault boats and outboard motors still there in the camp when y'all were there?
No.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
see
back in the rainy season, we ordered assault boats and outboard motors and established a Tra Bong Yacht Club, and we went cruising up and down the river doing H&I fire up while the water was real high, and we'd go back and forth up and down the river firing on the north side of the bank primarily. But
wow.
That was a lot of fun too. I forgot how far down we went, but way down there.
The best we could do, and I don't know if either one of these guys remember, we put an 81 millimeter in the back of a deuce and a half, sandbagged it and everything.
Yeah.
We used to go up and down the valley with a deuce and a half, firing 81 millimeter rounds off to the north and south.
No, I didn't do that. I had a 4-deuce short round laying right in front of me as I was coming back from the village. I was just coming up from that old school, that was there after you turned off on the road back to the camp. And just as I got to the high ground, a 4-deuce short round landed right in front of us. I forgot who was with me. I think Bob Slavey. And it went off right in front of us. So you could see the chunks and nothing hit either one of us or the Jeep.
Wow.
So do any of you? Go ahead.
I was going to say, and Bill or Greg might have been there. We were zeroing in the 4-deuce one day, and the camp, the LLDB commander came over and says, "I want to fire it." He dropped around right in the middle of the village.
Yeah, LLDB were like fucking worthless.
Killed a 6-year-old, and he took the family a case of ice cream.
Holy cow.
That was really cool of him.
Well, this is a guy, hopefully, that got executed the next year. Steve's got the story. I know he was convicted. Don't know if he was executed for other things, not for this.
That wasn't Guy Tie, though, huh?
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was Guy Tie.
No, Daiwi Doc.
Oh, Dop. I never knew him.
DAP.
Oh,
He
okay.
had been at Hatan,
Oh, okay.
and I don't know why he got transferred, but anyway, he was running Ghost, and he said something to the XO one day, and the XO says he was paying. The XO says, "I'm done," and came back over, and Dawee Dop threatened to shoot the XO. So we're all in flak jackets and hard hats, and I've got a 90 millimeter aimed at their team house door. But anyway, he finally got caught.
I'll be darned.
Were any of
Was
you
supposed to
guys
be
there?
executed, but I don't know if he ever got it or not.
So Bill could probably tell you this. I don't know if any of you all experienced it, but before you went out on an operation, you had your really early morning briefing. Then you left everybody and puked because you were so scared. You didn't want anybody to see you that you were, and you rejoined everybody. But as you walked out of the camp, all top secret, nobody knows we're going, the Catholic Church would ring the fucking bell
Yeah, I
and
don't
tell
remember that.
everybody that we were leaving. This happened to us all the time.
Yeah, the Catholic priest was probably the biggest Viet Cong in the south end of Icor.
He'd ring the
Really?
bell, let everybody know we're going, what the hell?
It didn't matter who you told or what you tried to do, nobody would do anything to this guy.
Yeah.
Well, I have a souvenir somewhere here in my closet that he gave me when I left Tra Bong. Yeah. And he invited all of us there for midnight mass at Christmas to that church. And we almost all of us went. Only a few stayed behind. It was quite a gathering.
I had taken Latin in high school, and I didn't have any Vietnamese, so we used to talk in Latin.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, my.
Nostrum, Nostrum, yes.
Exactly.
Bill, do you remember, I have, and this is for all of you, if you want to write this down, I've got literally thousands of really nice slides I'm going to have reproduced. I'm going to do an ebook on A-107.
Oh, outstanding.
If you give me your email, my email is obie66@comcast.net. So I have some really striking, really good Kodachrome pictures of mountain yards in the wild, way up in the middle of no place. And I got some great pictures of Bill Mellon. When we got attacked, a tiger came into the village.
Oh, really?
Killed a couple people, and it came into our camp, and we killed it. And I wanted, some of the claws, and they wouldn't let us have it, but because the village chief got the heart, the other lesser people got the lungs and whatever, but they let us have the skin. So I skinned it and put it on top of this concrete 30 cal bunker we had, put salt on it, and we got hit for like 4 days. So it got hard as a rock, and we wound up just sticking it up on the walls like a piece of cardboard. But Bill, I got some great pictures of you with your head.
I would like to have.
Right by that tiger's
I'll
mouth.
get in touch with you.
Yeah, get my email. I'm working on, somebody's going to help me take these Kodachrome slides and make them digital. And so I want to do an ebook of all of the time I was there. If any of you want to contribute, you have a story or something like that. I don't have the money to make a book, but somebody said I can do an ebook with photos and just bullshit in between the pictures. I like to do that because to me, it was a beautiful place. I enjoyed it.
It was, but it could get dangerous.
The leeches were an issue with me, but
I didn't experience
Yeah, I
that.
reckon.
Bill,
I've got some nice photographs. I want to make them available to all of you. Okay?
Oh, that'd be great. Did
Nope.
any of y'all use the CBs to do any work around the camp?
You too?
The camp was built by CBs.
Yeah, we had them come out there and they
Civilian River
did
Defense.
they completely rewired everything. And then we couldn't get them to leave. They wanted to stay around, and they went into the village and redid all the bridges, all those creeks that used to feed into the Tra Bong River. that had been destroyed. We redid all those bridges. They're all wooden, that redos, but they worked on schools. They were there. I bet they were there 3 to 4 weeks, but we had to finally just have Caribou come in and get them because they didn't want to leave. We had the same problem with the Caribou people. One of the planes went off the edge of the runway on an aborted takeoff.
I got pictures of that.
Oh, do you really?
Yep.
And
You got pictures of a different one, Bill.
Maybe it's a different one.
Yeah, this was early '68, and they sent a recovery team out from Cameron Bay, and headed by a guy named Yanovich, an Air Force major. We used to call him Yanovich, the son of a bitch. And another problem, they didn't want to leave either. Like out there.
Well, you know, the Caribou Squadron started using Tra Bong as its training strip. You know, it was only 800 feet.
One.
So it was the shortest one in I Corps.
Yeah.
Right.
And they finally decided if you can't land at Tra Bong, you can't belong to the squadron.
Yeah. All those
So
guys.
anyway,
We had
one
Air
guy
America
come
come in
out,
and drop stuff off.
and it's his first flight, and he stalls it at the western end too soon.
Yeah.
And it shears off all the landing gear. So here he is cartwheeling down the runway.
Well, ours, the two engines were damaged, the blades, of course, and the front landing gear. It was just nose down right over the edge.
Okay,
So
he
it was
didn't
down
make
like
this guy didn't make it to the far end, but it's kind of the same thing.
Well, those guys were all reservists from North Dakota or.
Those were cool planes, though. They were.
Oh, they were
cool.
terrific.
They were
Do
like
you remember one day, I guess it was Christmas of '68.
yeah, come with a Santa Claus that had his.
And you know, the Santa Claus plane comes in.
Yeah, I got
And
pictures
it's
of it.
landing, and there's one Vietnamese that stands in the middle of the runway watching this thing land.
Yeah.
He never moved till the thing just hit him in the face.
Really? The biggest problem I had with Vietnamese trying to sneak out at night through the minefields, go down to the village, you know, if they had family or whatever down there. We lost maybe half a dozen, something like that. Hit a mine in the middle of the night, you know. Mm-hmm. These guys are something else.
And those mines weren't mapped either.
No.
No.
I'd hate to be trying to redo that place.
Oh, man.
Who put those mines in?
Australians.
Were there when I
Australians.
got there.
The Australians did. They didn't record them. They didn't.
Okay.
You have to do a
Australians.
chart.
Are you talking
That was
about?
a big thing. Why we used
Excuse me.
to
Are you talking about the toe poppers?
Yes.
all around the perimeter,
I put the toe poppers in there, and I made a map for them.
but
Somebody
not
threw it
find
away.
Somebody threw it away. That's what I'm saying. There were
Nobody's
incompetence
ever
there.
seen the map.
Yeah, I put all those toe poppers in.
Really?
Chris Bacher can verify it. And that's one of the reasons when he told me to burn it out, I said, you're going to set up all those mines that are in there, da, 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 da. And he wouldn't listen. And, that's just part of the history of Tra Bong itself, not your
But
history.
Obermeyer came along later and came up with a better idea than burning. He used Agent Orange.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they
So
sprayed it.
we all
That's
now
essentially what I
have-
I
used.
love that shit. I loved it.
That's
It was-
essentially what I did when I defoliated it. I used that, all of that. That's what they sent out to the camp. That's what we used.
Well,
So it was
well, I
already
got there.
defoliated.
One time we're on a mission and I'm walking and it's, how dark it is and everything. All of a sudden, I thought, wow, we're on the top of a mountain or something. And all of a sudden I kept seeing light and we come out and it was all black. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. I went, this is cooler than shit. Everything was dead for like, as far as you could see to the right or the left. And you had to hustle across to the other side. And then somebody told me what it was. And I went, man, this is the best thing that's happening.
We didn't know then, did we?
We didn't have earplugs either.
No, but
Excuse me, don't shoot at me right now. I got to put my earplugs in and put my safety goggles on and put my mask on to keep any dust from getting in my nose. No, we didn't have any of that.
I can't remember smelling Agent Orange at all. I mean, it's a 2,4-D base herbicide,
Diesel fuel.
and it's got a distinct sweet smell to it. And I just can't remember ever smelling it.
Look, I got a call from a Canadian company, and they were asking me, why is the greatest concentration of Agent Orange in the middle of the Ashau Special Forces camp?
Okay.
And I called up some people from that camp, and they referred me to Westmoreland's book, The Soldier Reports, where he came to the camp. Somebody shot at him across a field of grass, and he said, "Well, look, you know, you can't, if you can't clean it out, it's just an old French minefield. I'm going to send you Agent Orange." So he sent barrels of Agent Orange to Ashau. They brought it into the camp. Then and they never got around to using it. So the barrels are all stacked up in the middle of the camp. The camp is attacked, and those barrels are just holes.
Oh, I never heard that.
Right there, there's one spot, which I had one guy said that's the spot where the barrels were when they sent me the map. So, you know, if there's anybody to blame for Agent Orange having a heavy concentration there in the Ashau Valley, it's the NVA.
Yeah.
Bill, and everybody else, on the email I sent you inviting you to this meeting, everybody else's email is listed there.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
So if you just want to have a different meeting or get Bill's book or something like that, all you need to do is just forward that email, just forward the names, and just write what you want underneath it. You can go have another meeting like this. You do what you want. You know, after I finish this meeting, I've got to move on to other camps in I Corps and then down to 3 Corps.
So Stephen, could I want to say thank you. You've done it's been a lot of work and a lot of patience dealing with good people and bad people, and it's very kind of you to do all this. I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Over the years, all the work you've done has just been terrific.
It's almost all good people that I've been dealing with here, and I'm very happy to do that.
I thanked you several times, Steve, and I'll thank you again. This is just above and beyond.
Well, now there's something we can do. And have a
Jim really enjoyed this.
Well, that's good.
He's been listening to all of it.
Who's that good-looking woman there? Oh, you're a lucky guy.
Because Jim can't talk. He was there in 66 and 67 and really enjoyed listening to all of you. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're happy to have you.
He was at
Good
the
to
camp
see
when I
you.
was there. He was at the camp when I was there. Yeah.
I got one more quickie combat story if everybody's I think Obermeyer and Plotz probably know this. Sometime in 69, and I don't remember when, Ken Garner was our senior commo guy. He had come up from Bateau. And he and our XO, Bob Cowles, had gone out on operation. And they've been out a couple of days. And all of a sudden, the radio comes on. It says, "Lieutenant's been shot. Lieutenant's been shot." Well, we don't know if he's dead or wounded or what's happened to it. And finally, Bob Cowles comes on and says, "I'm okay." When they get back into camp, Bob Cowles has a 30 caliber bullet that he brought with him. Evidently, he had been at maximum range. It stuck up between his eyes and did not go in.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
That is something.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask.
Tell your grandkids about.
I wanted to ask if Bateau had MACV come in besides the Marical Fire Base and Med Station. No?
Don't know.
Okay.
I don't either.
Yeah.
When I first arrived there in Tra Bong, the Marines had the AO over there by Chulai, and then the Marical.
Yeah.
I forgot, what was it, the 198th Brigade, 196, whatever it was. And then the Marical was established and the Marines went north.
Right.
My son
And,
turned over to Border Ranger Battalion
Yeah.
in 1970.
I think we had a VCNBA prison camp in our NRA in Bateau that had 2 Marines down there. The Marines tried to set up an observation post on one of the mountains, but didn't realize it was fogged in most of the time. And they were ambushed, and 2 of the recon force, or whatever they call the Marines, were taken prisoner.
we had Harvey Brandy from Tra Bong. He took a ride up to Quezon and he got captured. I don't know if you ever knew Harvey or not. But
No.
Now, Harvey was captured at
Long Bay.
Long Bay, excuse me. Yeah, not Quezon.
and
But-
he just passed away a couple months ago.
Oh, he did. Oh, I'll be darned. Yeah, I was home on leave from on R&R or whatever you want to call it, and I was watching the repatriation of the prisoners, and there comes Harvey trumping down the ramp of the aircraft. He had been repatriated in that flight. That was something to see. I thought he was dead, to tell you the truth.
You know, when I got sent to I Corps, the first person I had to do anything with was Harvey Brandy. He had a deal going where he was running the club at the sea team, and he would have the girls that worked there fix ham and cheese sandwiches every day. And then we'd take them over to the Marines and he'd sell them for like $5 a piece.
Okay.
and come back. And then he always made sure he somehow figured out how to get his money to his brother, who would send him back $100 bills. Then he'd take the $100 bills downtown and sell them for, whatever it is in piastres. He'd get 50% increase. And, he knew that the VC were getting the $100 bill. He didn't care. But he was a fun guy. We got sent together to Chu Lai when the Marines were making the changeover from the M14s to the M16s.
Oh, yeah.
And we went down there to work with the recon Marines. And our job was to train them how in the care and feeding of the M16 weapon, because they were used to taking their weapons and dipping them in this half barrels of oil, things like that. And, just all the oil in the world. And we kept trying to tell them that'll cause your weapon to jam on you when you're out in the dirt. And sure enough, you tell them that, they'd still do it. And then I remember they went out on a patrol once, and half of the guys got killed because the weapons jammed, because they put too much oil on, and they couldn't get it out. But Brandon was a great guy. He really was.
Well, I was at Tra Bong. We had the M16 A1s, and we had to turn them in and draw M1 carbines for a period until we were resupplied with A2 M16s.
Yeah.
And so for about 3 months, all we had were carbines.
So
When I came to
That's all I ever
Trabong,
carried.
a short
That's all
story
I
on
ever carried.
a short story on the carbines. When I first came there, all the yards have these really cool pistols, and they love movies. They all think we had a Buick station wagon and a Volkswagen in a 3-car garage because of the movies we show on the reels. But they'd have these freaking pistols. I'm like, what the hell are those? They would take the M2 carbines, cut off the barrel and the stock, and put them in a holster. They couldn't shoot a damn thing because there's no barrel on it. But they made like pistols out of them. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
they look like Steve McQueen's old
Yeah.
rifle.
Oh, yeah.
Wanted dead or alive. Yeah.
2X.
Pistols with a banana clip.
Did you guys carry on the tradition of playing pinochle in the team house?
Oh, yes.
Well,
When I
I have
was-
to tell you, because he's on here, James Jockums was probably one of the better pinochle players around, but I think he cheated. I think that it's not beneath him to cheat a little bit. I don't know.
He just left.
No,
You didn't
he
get to
didn't,
tell him.
because I beat him all the
See,
time.
he did. He did. He gave it away. I know. Yeah.
They were all chess
Singles.
players when I was there. We always had a game of chess going
Oh,
24
no,
hours
we,
a day.
we didn't have any chess players that I know of.
No,
Yeah, I did. Finally, unfortunately, he's dead now. Andrew was out there. He was an intel sergeant assistant for a while, and he ended up getting killed in Laos, unfortunately. But he was a great guy, and he and I would play. He and I would listen to the only records we had. We listened to the Supremes, and we played chess. That was our bonding. And
Yeah, it was a
he was a
big
great
chess,
guy.
big
Yeah.
chess team house when I was there. Everybody played chess except me.
Well,
one night on operation out there, darker than hell, and the yards are pointing to the moon. And they're going, I'm going, what the hell? They're pointing to the moon. Well, that was when we had landed on the moon. And they knew it before I did.
Really?
I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. But somehow out in the middle of the bush, in nowhere, I got the radio. They somehow got the message we had landed.
That's amazing.
That was pretty
Well, you know, he's out on an operation. The rest of us were in camp, and we were in the kind of parade ground there in front of the Vietnamese team house.
Yeah.
And we've got all the CIDG there, and we're watching Neil Armstrong land and walk on the moon. And we're pointing and saying, you know, this guy's up there, and they're all saying, dinky down, you know.
Yeah.
We couldn't get them to believe it.
Yeah, that is amazing. Oh, wow.
I thought Dinky Dow was my name.
oh no, that's not good.
Oh,
That's not good at all.
Nobody ever told
you. Who was the cook when you were there?
Huh?
What?
Who was the cook?
At Batco? No, wait.
No, at Tra Bong. Co Harry?
Yeah,
No, Ba. Co Ba.
Don't remember Co Ba. Co Harry was the.
There were two ladies, Co Ba and Co
Dep.
I think you're right. Co Dep.
Yeah, she was young when we were there. And
yeah.
Yeah,
they were good cooks.
Dep.
So we would check all the take home stuff because they always have food left over. And Doc Dreyer, God bless him, there was all these tin cans full of leftover food on the top, like stew, whatever the hell it was. And so Dreyer comes over and goes, what the fuck? We can't have this much left over. We didn't eat, you know. So he starts to get his K-bar out and starts to stab into the cans, and they all freaked out. Oh my God! And so they all got caught because they had taken good cans that weren't open and put them in bigger cans and poured the soup on top to hide it to on with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget those gals were like freaking out.
I got to go, but do you guys have time for one quick story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're ready.
I'm going on a long walk with Hank Luthi. We start up the side of the mountain early in the morning, and he said, we're going to take our first break. He sits down and he opens up his backpack and pulls this cloth out to wipe his brow off. Well, the night before that, he'd been in Quang Nai, and he had a pair of women's underwear that he was wiping his forehead with. And if you know Hank Luthi, you really got to appreciate that, because I had him by the balls with that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
I saw him years later at an SF reunion, and I said, "How you doing, Hank?" He says, "Henry," and I said, "Hank, remember the underwear, Hank?" He was a great guy to work.
Yeah.
Many of you know him, and he was a character and one of the really great ones. Yeah.
Does anybody remember any of the C detachment sergeant majors?
Oh, yes. Everybody knows Herman Hodge.
Herman Hodge.
Oh, Sergeant Major Hodge, yeah.
Oh, yep.
Major Hodge.
Did he try to convert you guys?
To what?
See, there was no C team when I was there. They were just getting ready to reestablish it in Quang Nai when I was there, but it hadn't become operational yet when I left in August of '68.
Does anybody remember Vadrine?
George Vadrine, yeah.
That name rings a bell. I don't remember.
He's earlier than most everybody here. Look, before you go, let me put in an advertisement. Anybody who does not have the Green Beret magazines, I still have some sets in my warehouse. So these are the monthly magazines for Vietnam. If you don't have them, you don't recall. I put them in yearly volumes and index the shit out of them. So,
Really?
There were a couple of them that had.
I have all the original ones. I saved them all.
Yeah.
all the original ones you have put away in plastic bags. They're worth about $60 a piece.
Really?
On eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And these here, $150 for the set, all 52 magazines.
Wow.
And they're indexed so you can find shit.
I will tell you, I have a set of those that I've had for 30 years now.
Yeah.
They are worth the money, and I can sit and read for hours.
It's like having a yearbook. You're not going to
It
give
is.
away your high school
It's
yearbook.
exactly what it is.
I never heard of them until you contacted me on this. Of course, I was discharged from the service back in.
You were too early. They didn't start till August of '66.
Yeah.
That was the first issue. And that's when Sergeant Major Dunaway came down from Okinawa, and he brought the idea.
Sold everybody a watch.
No, that was Odom.
Oh, I thought that was George.
No, Dunaway was too straight. Odom was the watch salesman.
Okay.
However, I had a story about him. One of the earlier things here, we knew him as a watch salesman. Here's the guy saying he was in Okinawa with Odom. Odom sold him a watch at that time. All right. A couple of years ago, his wife bought him a brand new Rolex because the old Rolex was old. So he takes his Rolex, his wife buys him, takes the Rolex that he bought from Odom, ostensibly feeling that he got ripped off. He paid, so much a month out of his little meager pay. He took that Rolex that Odom sold him to the dealer, the jeweler downtown, and had like I don't know how many thousands of dollars that they gave for that old Rolex, much more than the wife paid for the new one.
I paid $100. Somebody here is wearing one, but I have a stainless and gold, or did have. I gave it to my son. That I paid $187.50 for it at China Beach. Last year it was valued at $14,000.
Wow.
That's probably kind of like, I don't know, where's there we go.
There you go, right
That's
there.
it.
Looks just
Like
like
that.
that.
I bought an Omega. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Seiko was the one that everybody wore when I was there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
but-
didn't wear it. I didn't wear it till I came home.
Yeah. Well, this is a lot newer than way back.
What you really need now is the old Timex you used to wear on operations.
That's what I still use.
The old green Timex.
Yeah.
It didn't have the value that the Rolex did. And I tell you, for all the people who complained about Odom selling them watches, they made, for the most part, he did them a real favor.
They need to send him a thank you card.
A Rolex GMT Master at China Beach was $167.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've got a shout out for Bill Obermeyer that I want to do it while he's still there. He taught me everything about scrounging there was. I kind of took over from him. And he also showed me how to do the recon platoon, to patrol with just the recon platoon, which during the year I was there, I was the only one that took out anything less than a company. So thanks a lot, Bill.
Oh, you're welcome. Less people, less noise.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I'm
trained
going to
people.
check out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, Bill,
Yes,
before I leave, I want to thank you for visiting me in the hospital. Do you remember when you did that?
I don't think I do.
No, Guy Weeman.
I did. Yeah. That's been a while.
That's when I had falciparum malaria.
Yeah,
Yep.
And,
okay. Malaria. I just love taking those pills.
those
Yeah,
pills,
well,
those pills
They
didn't
work.
work for falciparum. So when the NBA came in to set up their attack on us, they brought in falciparum malaria, and it's the most wicked of the 5 different malarias. And
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
You know,
Yeah, I came,
Lu-
I came home with malaria. Yeah.
well,
Hey,
I
Lou
did
Barnes?
too, but not that.
Not
Yeah.
falciparum, no.
No. Lieutenant Cowles had that also.
I think all of us got it at least.
Just a bad case of diarrhea that doesn't stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that was dysentery.
That's when that latrine came in handy.
So that's
No,
why
that's
Briar and I
dysentery,
had
guys.
conflict. Say, Obi, you
Tell
take
you
your
who-
pill.
who
I go,
else
no,
visited
no,
me
I'm
in
not
the
taking that pill
hospital?
again. No, I'm not taking it.
Gypsy Rose Lee came in.
Gypsy
She
Rose.
sat on the bed, put her arm around you, chatted. I was out of it.
They did,
There's a picture of that somewhere, Greg.
There was a picture on the in the team house on the bulletin board, and I don't know
Okay, I
what
can
happened. I
remember.
wish I had that
I just
picture
remember seeing the picture.
with her and me. You know, she died shortly after she went back to the States,
Yep.
but she was quite a gal.
Hey, was there still a Playboy centerfold there in '68 after August or beyond?
Yes.
Up on the wall? That was Harold Dakin's wife. I don't know if you ever knew
Oh,
Harold Dakin.
wow. Did not know that.
Yeah, for
Oh, I haven't.
one of his wives.
Another quick question. Does everybody know that John Wayne was portraying A-107 in the Green Berets?
No.
True.
No, it was
Really?
A102.
He was. If you watch it and listen to it,
Yeah.
you'll hear a couple of references to A-107.
Yeah.
No,
I'll
but
be darned.
I talked to Faison,
Bill,
and the script for that was written based on Oshow on A102.
Oh, yeah, I
He-
knew that.
He may have
Yeah.
used the number 107 to describe it, because obviously the LLDB in charge, or the Korean guy playing the LLDB, was far more heroic than the LLDB ever
Oh, but they
dreamed to be.
hey, Stephen, if you ever have a chance to go to the John Wayne Museum in Iowa, in eastern Iowa, I
Iowa.
did. And it was his hometown. And I thought, well, just another museum, but it really was interesting. And they had a lot of his Green Beret movie stuff in there. The Fifth Flash had to be about 150% bigger than our Flash that we normally get. You know, it was just a bigger. It's just a bigger thing, and I thought it was just an interesting museum to go through to see all of his movies and memorabilia. Very interesting.
You know, you talk about guys that were married to playmates. There was a guy on our team, and Barnes, I don't know if he was at Pascal, Sergeant Pascal, who also married a Playboy playmate. And she left him after about 3 months, I think.
Was that Pascal? Was he the one that he was a Filipino?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he was on the A-107 when I was there, and his uncle was the one at the Deepwater Port in Da Nang that got us all the stuff all the time, and got it through the main gate there at the Deepwater Port.
Yeah, he's in.
He's in North Dakota or somewhere, Montana.
Last time I saw him, he was in California. He was a policeman in not San Diego, but right up from San Diego.
Yeah, we talked about probably 5 years ago, and it seemed to me he was in Montana or Wyoming, somewhere up in there.
No, we must have moved. Eugene Pascal.
Yeah.
Ronald R. Pascal. In
Maybe it
Lakewood,
was Ron.
California.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a different Pascal. They might have been relatives, because I know he had relatives in SF.
Did any of you guys meet Martha Ray over there?
No.
Never did.
Oh.
I was asked if I wanted to go in, and I was just too busy. I said no. Same
Wow.
thing with the other guy. What's his name? They came out. They would offer if you wanted to go in. And I just said no. I don't have time for that. What's his name?
Bob Hope?
No, the guy. It was her, and then it was the other guy that came out all the time. Did all the tours. Oh God, I can't remember his name, but
Aaron Bird did it.
anyway, it was that kind of stuff was there if you wanted it. If you wanted to go in, you know.
Oh, Martha Ray came out to Bateau.
Martha Ray.
Yeah.
I never saw her.
Yeah,
Who was the
when I
guy
post-
that did all the tours? Forget his name. Anyway.
when I post this video on the website, go back to the about 2 videos before it, and you'll see a guy. I think the video is marked Martha Ray, but this guy had been the escort for Martha Ray for a while.
Oh, really?
Nice little story about it.
Was that Udo Walters?
No,
Okay.
it was Henry Tross.
Oh, okay. No.
But we recorded a little bit at the end of one session where he told us the story, and it was pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
when I post this, it'll be on the same page, and I'll let everybody know where it is. Just look up the page to one of the other camps, and you'll see Martha Ray.
Okay. Sounds good.
So a question for Greg Plotz. When you left, you offered me your weapon and your knife. And I had some little hunky, hulky thing. And I said, I don't want that. It's too heavy. Did you keep it and take it home?
No.
Because they're worth billions. They're worth billions. I remember you offering me, and I said, hey, Bill, don't you want this? I said, nah, it looks too dangerous.
You know, we used to
I just
buy
wondering if you
those
kept
by
it, because those things go for big bucks now.
You're talking about the presentation knives from 5th Group.
Just the knife you're issued.
No, it was a K-bar.
Yeah.
K-bar.
It
Your
was a
K-bar.
K-bar.
Yeah, I've got all mine here.
Yeah, well,
I got VC helmets, belt buckles. I don't know why I didn't get any South Vietnamese flags. I got one flag here and cartridge belt. I got a bunch of shit. A lot of mountain yard crossbows, backpacks they wove. I don't know what to do with it. I mean,
well,
I got
Special
a pile.
Forces was one of the biggest manufacturers of VC flags in South Vietnam.
Yes.
You know, Plotz and Dreyer used to be in charge of having flags made.
Yeah. And on the knives, I had to write in my will a little codicil to tell my kids, if you don't want my knife and my beret, this guy will take it and pay a good buck for it. Then I mentioned it to somebody else, and he said, I'll pay a hell of a lot more than that. So I
Really?
had to change that codicil to the will. But frankly, a beret and a knife are probably worth what they paid us for a year in Vietnam.
This is an original beret with the leather, a little cracked. This is my beret I had.
The beret with the big thing about the beret is the lining. If you got something, your name in the lining or something,
Right.
that makes it a little bit more expensive.
No, this is just the regulation.
Yeah, I've got one of those. But I've got the ones, the old green beret that I wore was one of those from Europe, not American issue. And it was the lower crown or whatever. It had a different shape to it than the ones that we were issued later.
Well, all these people
Smell like
have
French
weird things.
perfume?
Pardon?
It smell like French perfume?
Yeah.
The French were good with their berets, yeah.
Is yours lined, Bill?
No, this is just a standard issue. It has the white lettering, the stock number,
The day I reported, Ringo took
the leather
mine.
border.
You remember Ringo?
Yes.
Interpreter?
Yeah. Yes.
He took mine to the village, and they did a silk lining in it with a dragon and all this stuff.
Right.
And that's the one I wore all year. It's one I still
Is that
got.
right?
Yeah.
Ringo, what a nice guy he was.
He was.
He was, I'm sure they tortured him to death.
The last operation I went on, we got hit kind of bad. He got shot in the heart.
Yes, you got.
You remember? And he had a 5th Group lighter in his pocket, and a bullet hit the lighter.
No kidding.
Really?
Didn't kill him.
He was such a dedicated guy. It made you
Oh, he
feel
was.
proud to be there. Ringo was such a good guy. Yeah.
Were any of you guys there when Lieutenant Day took over the Vietnamese Special Forces group?
Hey,
No,
don't recall.
No,
Because he ended up being very corrupt. And I think he got charged with murdered a civilian or something, didn't he, Steve?
I don't know. What, Bill, what was the guy you had dealing with?
Doc.
Bill, I have a testimony that Bill gave an affidavit for the trial of this guy. I gave it to him yesterday. I don't know if you had a chance to go through it, but there's a whole bunch of attached files on it. Even the Vietnamese guy who's listing all the ghost soldiers that this guy was paying.
Mhm.
So it was kind of interesting stuff there. But
Steve, you're going to do this for 106 next month, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
so
And Bill, how do you know about John Jones, Captain John Jones down at
Well,
106?
John and I came into country about the same time. When I took 107, not very long, just maybe days or weeks after that, he took over 106.
Yes. Okay.
And, you know, you'd have conferences in Da Nang once a month or once every 6 weeks or what. So he and I just got to be friends over a period of time and got to know each other, just kind of having dinner and getting drunk together in Da Nang.
He loved Chevrolet Regal, but what happened to him when he?
Don't know. Never
okay.
heard from him after I left.
He just dropped off.
Now, here's one other story that most of you probably do not know. And we had a commanders conference in Da Nang for some reason. Don't remember. Colonel Reeder was the C team commander at that point. Vadrine was the sergeant major. And I don't know, we'd had dinner and been drinking and all this. Everybody decides we want to go downtown to a bar. So every commander in I Corps and the sergeant major are getting one Jeep. And we go downtown. And this Marine MP lieutenant doesn't want to let us in. Well, we got in, but anyway, a whole squad of Marine MPs show up and arrest every SF commander in I Corps. And because the C detachment commander has to come down and sign for everybody to get out.
I've still got another one going on for A-107. Well, yeah.
Who was the real husky sergeant major at C team?
Vadrine.
Yeah, well, he was good buddies with Leonard.
He
And I
was.
went in-
They were close.
Yeah, I went into C team one time for something or other, and he told me to look him up, and I looked him up, and we got in the Jeep. We hit about 2 or 3 places downtown. Brought a woman back to the compound at C team, and I mean, this guy had everything going for him.
You know, and he had more Purple Hearts than anybody you'll ever meet. I think when I left, he had 18.
Oh my God!
Who is this?
Sergeant Major
Sergeant
Vadrine.
Major. Yeah.
Oh,
And who is the Jones or the lieutenant you were talking about?
Oh, he was the CO at 106.
What was his name?
John Jones.
Jones.
John
Jones.
You know, Bill, he spoke Vietnamese, and he spoke 1-to-1 to the LLDB.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well,
Never knew that he spoke the language.
yeah, and he was okay in my book, but you know, in operations, he would just take out a carbine with one magazine. I thought, oh man, I don't know what you're going to do if we get into trouble.
Oh, see, I never heard any of that, so I don't really know.
Okay.
He did all right with me.
I haven't looked for Jones yet, but I probably will find him because I've got some hints where he might be.
I need to make a correction too. When I was saying we didn't have any C teams, it was that we didn't have any B teams in I Corps.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what they
They were just when I left camp and went to the train. They were just starting to set up the B team in July.
Yeah, well,
Quang
the
Nai,
Chulai
wherever they
Quang
ended up.
Nai is when I was there, they were designating Quang Nai as the B team headquarters.
Ended
But
up-
Well, there was still, when I left, in August of '69, they had, nobody could make up their mind if they were going to put it Quang Nai or Chulai. And I don't know when I finally came home in March of '70, and I never really know where it finally ended up.
if it did at all, huh?
Yeah, don't really know.
There was a liaison office in Quang Nai.
Right.
Yeah, there was one when I was
So
there.
they played with B teams without a great
Yeah.
deal of success.
Yeah.
They won at Kamduk for a while, won at Chulai,
No.
won at Quang Tri. Not all at the same time, just shuffled them around, just had liaison. And then Chulai came back again when Quinyon closed down, they moved it up there.
Oh,
Okay.
Badrine in 1969 got his 8th Purple Heart. So
Oh, wow.
7 and 8 came from 5th group.
Okay.
Everything before that was somewhere else, Korea or
Oh,
wherever they'd been. He already was
Yeah.
a staff sergeant major at that point. So he's kind of beyond the time when he should be out picking up bullets.
Okay.
That's SF.
But
Hey, to all of you though, if you're ever shot down in Portland, Oregon, you can have that's where I'm living.
oh,
So
why? Why?
Sorry to hear that.
you ever run into Bob Sheps in Portland? There, he lives on one of those houseboat things down on the river.
no, but I go to the monthly SFA meetings that we've got up. We've got a pretty good chapter up here.
Oh,
Good.
Are you armed?
Pardon me?
Are you armed?
No, not me. I've got my wife.
We were in Portland 2 years
Went out
ago,
at
and I
night.
hope I never see it again.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I'm
What
wearing
has happened
my
to Portland?
Portland t-shirt here.
You're on A10 Portland, huh?
No, this is
A101 Portland.
A109 t-shirt from the Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about they need a camp out there right now to help control.
They do.
They saw move out of Portland and leave it to the people. Go back and join Idaho.
Okay.
Steve, thanks a lot.
Yep.
Great meeting, guys.
Remember,
We enjoyed
you guys
chatting with
can
you.
do this yourself. You don't need me. You got the list.
I have thoroughly enjoyed it.
I have too. It's nice to hear
It's one
what
of the
happened.
best ones I've been to.
You guys
I
get tired
came
of
to the
shoveling
practice
snow,
yesterday.
come out and visit.
Yeah.
None
Okay.
of the A-107 guys showed up at yesterday's practice meeting.
You did.
No, I was at a luncheon. I couldn't show up for the
Okay, I was the only one there yesterday, and it was all A-109 guys.
Greg,
Oh,
weren't you there yesterday?
Well, they weren't as smart as we are.
But they did something we never did. We talked about it and never did it. They built a pool. They had a pool, an in-ground pool.
Well, the C team and Play Cool had a pool too.
Oh, well, yeah, C team is okay. C team, you expect it, but not an A team.
No, you don't expect it. Even today, just had to rely on China Beach.
Yeah, there's
Oh, yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, you mentioned Ashaw a couple of times, and they got me thinking because I saw something somewhere recently that they were having somebody asked the Defense Department to review Billy Hall's commendation again. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't, but I know they gave what was it? Benny Atkins got a medal, upgrade to a Medal of Honor.
Yeah, yeah.
So whether or not somebody goes elsewhere, I don't know. I've been on the periphery of people getting upgrades, and I don't understand anything about the process. it's complicated. It requires a great deal of tenacity and expertise. We're working on an upgrade. I was sitting as a fly on the wall for a group that was trying to get an upgrade for Paris Davis for a 1965 action. He was put in for a Medal of Honor, but MACV just gave him a Silver Star and said, well, we'll send it up. All the paperwork got lost. Never happened. They put it back in again in 1968. It all got lost again. So this group was trying to get him to be upgraded. And I'm sitting there just, listening. And they said, well, we're writing this thing up. And how are we going to describe what exactly happened? How are we going to tell them what happened? And I said, I just met these guys last summer on the internet. They're doing video games on Vietnam in a high level of detail. They talk to all kinds of SOG people. I've seen their work really good. And I said, you guys got enough money over here on the table. Let me go ask them if they'll draw some pictures for you. So I get back to them and they say, we would be honored to do it. We won't ask you for a dime. We don't want a dime. We'd just be honored to do it. They drew up about a dozen pictures, and the pictures all had to go through multiple iterations because somebody said the truck was lying on its side, this side, no, it's got to be that side. You know how this stuff goes. Editing pictures is not all that easy. So they get it all done, and they get it up there just before Trump is gone. And at this point, Chris Miller is the Secretary of Defense. Miller, if you don't know that, ex-SF guy. The last day he was in office, they didn't get the award up out through the bowels of the Pentagon. They got it to Miller's desk. He saw it already. He approved it already, but how it gets out of the Pentagon, I don't know. Anyway, his last day in office, he sends somewhat of a form letter out to everybody who was involved in this operation, including me. But each form letter had a personalized note from him. This is Secretary of Defense. And the one he sent to the guys in England said, you have set a new paradigm for award recommendations. And you never saw a happier bunch of people than these guys out there with their letter from the Secretary of Defense, the American Secretary of Defense, complimenting them on having set a new paradigm for award recommendations. They were so pleased. When this guy came out to Las Vegas to talk at the SF convention, I had to go to him and say, look, you can't understand how much your letter was appreciated. He did that on his last day in office. And I thought that was really very nice. He's a great guy, by the way. And I hope that I had his talk out in Las Vegas captioned, and I'm waiting for the chapter there to give approval for me to put that captioned version up. It was funnier than hell.
Okay.
So, we didn't get what was his name, Lake from Australia, to show up. As I said, he showed up there at about 1 o'clock this morning and said he was trying to get into the meeting.
Let me tell you a Lake story.
Tell me a Lake story.
I'll tell you, like, the first thing I didn't know is that to Australians, if you call them by their last name, that's an insult, because that's the way they refer to servants, by their last name. And in the Army, you call everybody by their last name. So I used to call him Lake, and he cussed me out one day. So you can call me John, you can call me Mr. Lake. Do not call me Lake. But we were on patrol one day. Lake was crazy. We're on patrol. It's early in the morning, and we're walking. We're trying to get to some water, and Lake sees something. And just sees something flash, and he says, it's a VC. I'm going to go get him. And I said, you better keep your ass here. No, I'm going to go get him. So he goes. We get to the water. We're at the little stream. And all of a sudden, about 100 yards down, maybe 75 yards down, Lake comes running out of the bush into the stream, yelling, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. And I'm trying to think, you know, this VC must be a badass VC. It's a tiger. That's what he saw the flash of. And everybody started laughing. Nobody could shoot. All the noise scared the tiger. But, you know, and Lake was pretty embarrassed by that. But he was also the only guy. He'd asked me when I was at the Mole Gorilla Force, he'd come in to Da Nang and asked me to take him to the Uktaloy house, the Australian house, drive him down. And he'd make 3 stops at whorehouses before he got there. You know, he was a hell of a man.
Yeah.
John Lake.
Okay, well, I've got to go. I've got to go to a dinner here in a little while. So I'm going to have to punch out of the net. Nice chatting with all you guys.
You
Oh,
too,
yeah.
Hank.
Have
Good
enjoyed
seeing
it.
I enjoyed hearing everything about what happened prior to my time there, and especially after I was there. It really filled in a lot of holes. I
I
appreciate
think
it.
we have all enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
an experience, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
good talking to you guys. Take care.
All right, see you
Take
later.
care, guys.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Steve. Bye.
So long, fellas.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Good to see you, Greg.
Very welcome.
Nice seeing you, Dowie.
All right,
Bill?
time to feed horses. See you guys later.
I will email you tomorrow and talk about pictures you've got.
10-4.
Yeah,
Okay.
Outstanding.
Bill,
We'll see you.
if you want,
Yes, sir.
Texas Tech will transfer your pictures into PDF files, send you a CD-ROM, not
Texas.
PDF, into JPEG or TIFF files, send you a CD-ROM for free.
Really?
However, you have to donate your slides to them. So you've got to go through your slides, write captions on the slides or to the slides,
Okay.
and then contact Texas Tech or have get through me, and they will transfer them all for you, as long as that they want to add to their archive, the Vietnam archive.
What's it called? Texas Tech?
Texas Tech University.
Oh, really?
It's the Vietnam Center at Texas Tech University, and is probably one of the largest archives of material.
So I've got some beautiful pictures of the mountain yards, the women, tiger, so many. There was so much beauty there besides what we did.
They
The elephants.
did my slides that I had, and I don't know how many thousands of slides they did for me, and mine were not necessarily, or very few of them were Vietnam. Most of them were family slides, but they did it because they were looking at sort of the Cold War era. And
Right.
the slides were good Cold War era slides, and they did a really good job. You know, I got a CD-ROM out of the deal with all the pictures I could use for myself. But the important thing is, no pictures do anybody any good if they don't have good captions.
Very good. Yes, I understand.
So only you know what's in the pictures. And I'm working, for example, right now, my meeting next week is going to be my OCS class. And I have found one way or the other, all but 12 of the people in the OCS class.
Is that right?
Oh, wow.
And
Outstanding.
I just sent out yesterday a 100 megabyte file of pictures from our OCS class from all periods, from OCS to obituaries today. And
What company were you in?
53rd company
Okay.
has 1166 was our class number.
Okay, I was in 63rd Company.
Mhm,
We were 166.
mhm.
We started on the 4th of July.
166, you were before us.
Yeah, 6 months.
The big problem that I had, because I was under misinformation, I thought the Agent Orange file was created by the government, and apparently it was not. It was created by the lawyers, and they solicited people to come in and give their information. They didn't have a total database the way I thought Agent Orange file was. But I know some people who have copies of that file. I don't know if they're different. The two people I knew both had the same source. And I had them search the file for everybody who had a date of rank of August 23rd, 1967. And I got back about 150 people, of whom 50 of them were classmates. The rest of them, none of them were first lieutenants on that date. You had majors and captains and all kinds of people, including one guy who was chief of staff for the Army. What's his name? He was SF too. He and his brother were both SF, but they were on the list. I had, from that list, I had social security numbers of 50 people, which was pretty good because our class was too early to have socials on the documentation we had going into the class.
Do you remember your number?
05331555 something or other. I don't know. Close. I can find it really easily. Really.
Never forgot mine.
But January 1st they changed the socials. Then by 1990 they were trying to hide the socials. And what a zoo! I mean, there was no reason for them to change from Army serial numbers. Absolutely none at all. And then in 1990, I found, or after 1990 sometime, I found a contractor to the military who had a file on a disk of 600,000 award orders.
Wow.
And I said, I'll pay for making a copy of that disk. I'll pay for the transport, everything. Go out right to the manufacturer who will do a good job of copying it. How about that? Will you let me do that? And she said, yeah, no problem. Well, I think I better ask.
Oh, no.
So she asked, and that was the beginning of a 2-year, 3-year lawsuit.
Yeah. Bad move.
Yeah, I learned never to do that again. But now I can't do it because I'm just too old. But that basically was, I would have broken that down to all the different unit historians and among the veteran groups, and we would have made a database. And I have a database. It took 3 man-years to put about 9,000 Special Forces award orders into the database. I had 2 other guys helping me. We each worked on it for about a year's worth of time.
Oh.
But I can do magic tricks with that database. You have somebody who went on an operation on a given date. Okay, like today we were talking about somebody or another, and I was trying to find out if somebody else got wounded on that day.
Have you seen your old OCS battalion area lately?
Yeah, we saw it all. It's all changed. Those were pretty nice buildings for that time. They tore them all down and made fancier.
Do you know who's there now?
No.
It's the 503rd.
The what?
The 503rd.
Huh? Well, anyway, that was an interesting time, and I'm looking forward to our reunion here on the next week. And what I've got. Well, let me show you this.
You will know more. You already do know more, but by the time you finish all these meetings, nobody will have the knowledge that you do.
And then
SF.
I'm going to die and take it with me.
Well,
So it doesn't all work all that well.
but whatever you get out of it, you have more than earned.
All right. Well,
This was tremendous.
all right. Here here is, let's see how I'm going to do this. Okay, share the screen. I'm sharing the screen now. And this is my OCS file. Where I have to put you out of the way. Okay, so we had a class book. It was a little different than what other classes did. All right, so that kind of stuff is here.
Okay. Looks familiar.
Yeah, and
Is that Fort Benning?
that's Fort Benning
Yes.
School for Boys.
My first detail on the day I reported in was to go down and ride that thing.
I've got a graduation ceremony, graduation orders, all kinds of stuff like that. Actual orders for the graduation with everybody in their home of record.
Very good.
Now the problem is this file is so big. I just sent it out last night, and everybody's having trouble today downloading it. It's a big zip file, and they don't know what to do. But some of the stuff that I picked up over time.
Have you guys stayed in touch over the years?
No, we had one mini reunion where I collected some data for it. But actually, I had all this stuff. I made the yearbook or the class book. We didn't send it out. I made it. And see, I've got all these ID card photos, really awful things, aren't they?
Hey, listen, I've got an issue going on downstairs. I'm gonna have to leave, guys.
Okay. Look, get hold of me if you want to get those yellow books, because I
Yes, sir.
I will call you tomorrow. And hey, Bill Overmeyer, give me your phone number.
805-835-3326. That's cell phone.
Okay.
And what is your area code? So I know not that I need to know that you're not gonna. I'm not getting a call to have my car insurance renewed.
770.
770. Okay. I'll just
251-4847.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen.
All right. Well, happy to have you.
Appreciate it.
Sweet dreams.
Best
Thank
meeting.
all of you guys. This was a
Okay.
great meeting.
All right.